Hi guys, welcome back to At Home with Holly. My name is Holly. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Today is going to be the first of a couple days of getting the chicken coop winterized. And we are going to be switching over some of the things that we do in the coop. So I don't heat my coop, but I do try to make it as windproof as possible with some solid walls, solid clear walls around the run. I do slide up the windows inside the coop so they have solid plexiglass instead of the mesh screens so that they don't have as much airflow coming in. And then I also switch over all my waters to, I put a heater in them, a bird bath heater in them so they don't freeze. And I switch the cups over to these nipples so that they can not freeze as well. So they still have access to fresh water. I don't know that it's cold enough to put up all the walls yet, but I think I'm going to start putting them up because it's time to clean out the run anyways. So if I'm going to clean out the run and put in fresh wood chips, that's kind of the perfect time to have to lay on the floor to put in a couple of those sidewalls underneath the coop. So you'll see when I take you out there. But so I don't know that we're going to get to all of it today, but today for sure we are going to do the waterers because it is hovering. At night it's getting below freezing, and in the morning it's hovering around 40. And so I want to just go ahead and get this part buttoned up, and then we'll tackle the run and the walls over the next couple of days. So I'm going to get the nipples outside. We are going to empty out the water, scrub them out really good because might as well before it gets freezing. And then we will get these attached and put the bird bath heaters in. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Let's get started. So the other reason I wanted to do this now is because my hose is still attached and not frozen. And I want to be able to do this while I have the hose so I can rinse stuff out. So we're going to go ahead and get this part done while we still have the hose and a little bit of warmer weather. All right, so I've got these two bird bath heaters. I'm just going to hang them up over here while they wait for us. And I'm going to get these scrubbed out and rinsed out real good. So I'm going to take off one, two, one, two. I love these rent-a-coop waters because they have the side cut out right here so that the bird bath heaters can fit right inside because the cords can still come out the side. So these attach really easily. The white part goes on the inside, this part goes on the outside, and they peck at it and it releases the water. Okay, first one switched over. Now, get this one scrubbed out. They stay pretty clean just because they're covered, but sometimes the edges get a little grimy. We just want to keep it nice and clean. Okay, switch these cups. All right, two down. Now during the winter, I only use these two waters, although during the summer I have another one over there because these are the only two that can reach the bird bath heaters. So then I just put one of each of these in the bottom, And that way the cords can come right out the side. Easy peasy. Now, I do need to make sure that my cord is over on this side of the coop. These plug in right here. 1, 2. Those are working. But they're not leaking, so that is perfect. Step 1 done. I've already got that side down, and then this side comes down and this side goes up. Okay. All right, so now the plexiglass windows are closed, so it'll be a lot less drafty in here, nice and warm. And then of course I use the deep litter method, so all of this is composting in place and generating a lot of heat. So with 10 birds in here, it stays nice and toasty warm. And the girls are coming to check it out. I grabbed these 2 pumpkins off my front porch. We're going to bring them into the girls too, just to give them something different to do, to take their mind off the fact that the waters are different, because chickens are weird, and when things are different, they get confused. Okay, now it's not necessary, but I like to start the process for them so that they understand that the goodness is inside, and then they will attack it and peck it and carve it. You can see that one that they've already been working on for a few days. Somebody's excited. All right, we'll let these girls work on these for a few days. So after we gave them those pumpkins and they started enjoying them, I took the extra feeders that I usually put on the other side of my runs so that everyone has equal opportunity to get to the feed. And I went ahead and gave them a quick scrub so that I could put them away clean to store them. So I got all the outside and the inside scrubbed off, let them dry overnight, and then they were ready to put away. Now these panels are the ones we're going to use to put on the walls to make sure that the wind can't get through. And last year I did a video about how I cut them all to size and got them in there so that they fit like a puzzle. The only place that I need to get to put these on that's a little bit tricky is right underneath that coop. So I took the opportunity to clean out all of the wood chips that are composting and added them to my compost pile. And then I went ahead and opened up a bag of fresh wood chips, put them underneath, and that way I was able to throw a towel down, lay on top of the towel, and attach these panels that were already cut to size. And I just used last year's holes that I drilled in the wall so that I'm not making new holes every time. So all of these little pieces are the ones underneath the coop, and then also where the drop down door is to be able to refill the feeder and water. And they are numbered from when I took them off last year. So being able to start at number 1 and then go underneath the coop. It took about 10 minutes to get all of these panels underneath the coop and above the drop down door for the feeders on. So that was really my, I'm really glad that I took the time last year. It was starting to get dark while I was doing this. It looks a lot lighter on camera than it actually is. So I made the decision that I was going to put up the walls above the drop down doors and underneath the coop. And then once the chickens were inside the coop, I would take the time to clean out the rest of the bedding so I could leave all the doors open and do it a lot quicker. Unfortunately, with me screwing in all of these screws and disturbing the chickens, even though the warning light came on that the door was about to close, they were pretty preoccupied by me, and some of them missed the warning. And the door's going to close. Luckily, I can just go ahead and push that button and it'll open back up again whenever I want. And I know it does look like it's light out on camera, but it was getting pretty dark. So I got these girls, opened the door back up, got these last few girls back in, and then I went ahead and cleaned out the rest of the run and put some fresh wood chips down while they were nice and snug in their bed in the coop. Okay, so we got all the old stuff out. New shavings put in, or wood chips put in. Got them a new treat block, moved their pumpkin. And we got all of the panels underneath done and all of the panels in front of the feeder. And then it's dark out, so we will do the rest tomorrow. So this is my thermometer that I use. The bottom temperature is inside my house. The top temperature flashes back and forth between the coop and the run to tell me the humidity and the temperature. And when I saw how warm it was the next day, I was like, yep, the sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. Instead of installing the panels, what I'm going to do is get my hose and I'm going to spray off all the dust and the cobwebs from inside the coop, because when I was attaching the panels the day before, I was like, man, I really should get in here with a broom. And then also the things just needs a good scrubbing. So I was like, let me put the power sprayer part on my hose. So I took a minute because it's not going to be that warm again anytime soon. So this was going to be the last kind of perfect day to do this. So I sprayed everything down, let it all dry overnight, and then this is me the next day coming in. I would pile up all the panels inside. A couple of times they did fall over, but I got it done. So I will say the very first time last year when I put these walls on the coop, it took me at least 5 or 6 hours, maybe even 7 or 8 hours to cut out every single piece, line it all up, make sure it was the way I needed it and fitting over all the little notches and stuff. And really this time, I don't know that it took me more than an hour and a half. Now, the first day when I was climbing under the coop, I did clean out the coop, and then it took me about 20 minutes to attach all the panels underneath. And then this time it took me just over an hour to put up the rest of the panels. So I'm really happy that I invested the time to cut them all out specifically and to number them and all that stuff, because this setup and put away process has become much more streamlined and it gives my girls a nice place to be during the winter months. Okay, we got all of our walls up. We got the lights hung back up. It is pretty great. The girls are all settled in. And I've got all the small pieces that I can still access the drop down door. All the lights are strung up. The water heaters are in. Looking pretty good, and perfect timing because at the end of this week, they are calling for our first possible snow. Not that it's gonna like accumulate and stick, but our first possible snow. So it's coming. So anyway, we've got all the projects buttoned up in here. I want to thank you guys so much for following along with my journey and just all the support, all the likes and the comments and shares. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We have a whole lot more chicken tending and gardening and growing and preserving and cooking to do. So can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye, my friend.